I filmed today. I'm not gonna lie, I'm tired, but I am glad that I did this. I got so much done today. And since it's like the end of the day, we doing skincare. Skincare and talking about Jonestown. Jonestown. No, you guys will not be seeing my boyfriend in this. He just left. He wasn't comfortable with like being filmed and all. So I wanted to make sure that he was comfortable. So I didn't film. We just cuddled on the bed and watched YouTube. Like we always do. So I think that I am gonna start by putting my hair up. Let's get started then. I'm also gonna like cut things away. So today, this video is gonna be Jonestown. I need to update this because I started 4 minutes ago. And then '22. There. I spent all today filming and I'm pretty happy that I did. So let's take these off. The mustache was gone. The scars are gone because like, they're only like eyeshadow and makeup and I didn't really accept them. And I was kissing my boyfriend all the time. So let's go. Jonestown. Or known as the People's Temple Agricultural Project, better known by its informal name, Jonestown. It was a remote settlement in Ghana, established by the People's Temple, a San Francisco-based cult under the leadership of Jim Jones. The settlement became internationally known when, on November 18th, 1978, a total of 918 people died at the settlement. At the nearby airstrip in the Port Katuma and at the Temple Run building in Georgetown, Ghanaia's capital city, the name of the settlement became synonymous with the incidents at those locations. In total, 909 individuals died in Jonestown. All but two were from apparent cyanide poisoning in an event termed revolutionary suicide. And that term was Kanan was determined by Jones and some People's Temple members in an audio tape of the event and in prior recorded discussions. The poisonings in Jonestown were followed the murder of 5 others by Temple members at Porta Katuma, including United States Congressman Leo Ryan, an act that Jones ordered. 4 other Temple members committed murder-suicide in Georgetown at Jones's command. So let's go back to the beginning of People's Temple and all that. The People's Temple was formed in Indianapolis, Indiana in 1955. Although the roots and teachings shared more with biblical church and Christian revival movements than with Marxism, it purported to practice what is called apostle socialism. It's the end of the day. I'm tired. I'm gonna be fumbling over my words like I have all day. In doing so, the temple preached that those who remained drugged with the opiate of religion had to be brought to enlightenment, socialism. In the early 1960s, Jones visited Ghana and then a British colony while on his way to establishing a short-lived temple mission in Brazil. After Jones received considerable criticism in Indiana for his integrationalistic views, the temple moved to Redwood Valley, California in 1965. In the early 1970s, the temple opened other branches in Los Angeles and San Francisco, and would eventually move the headquarters to actually like San Francisco. I'm going to go with this so that way I can wipe down the face. With the move to San Francisco came increasing political involvement by the temple and the high levels of approval they received from the local government. After the group's participation proved instrumental in the mayoral election victory of George Moscone in 1975, Moscone appointed George Jones as the chairman of the San Francisco Housing Authority Commission. Unlike many other figures who are considered cult leaders, Jones enjoyed public support and contact with some of the highest level politicians in the United States. Jones met with vice presidential candidate Walter Mondale and the First Lady Rosalind Carter. Guest at a large 1976 testimonial dinner for Jones included California Governor Jerry Brown, Lieutenant Governor Mervyn DeMaile, and California Assemblyman Willie Brown, among others. So, yeah. Fast forward to October of 1973, the directors of the temple passed a resolution to establish an agricultural mission there, in Ganya. The temple chose Ganya in part because of the group's own socialistic policies and politics, which were moving further to the left during the selection process. Former temple member Tim Carter stated that the reasons for choosing Ganya were the temple's view of a perceived dominance of racism and multinational corporations in the U.S. government. According to Carter, the temple concluded that Ghana, an English-speaking socialistic country with a predominantly indigenous population and with a government including prominent black leaders, would afford black temple members a peaceful place to live. Later, Ghanaian Prime Minister Forbes Burnham stated that Jones may have wanted to use cooperatives as the basis for the establishment of socialism, and maybe his idea of setting up a commune meshed with that. Jones also thought that Ghana was small, poor, and independent enough for him to easily obtain influence and official protection. Jones was skillful in presenting the Ghanaian government with the benefits of allowing the People's Temple agricultural project to settle within its borders. One of the main tactics was to speak of advantages in the American presence near Ghana's disputed border with Venezuela. This seemed promising to the Burnham government, who feared attack from Venezuela. In 1974, after traveling to the area of northwestern Ghana with Ghanaian officials, Jones and the temple negotiated a lease of over 3,800 acres. Sorry, there's like something in my eye. Okay. Like 3,800 acres of land in the jungle located 150 miles west of the Ghanese capital of Georgetown. The site was isolated and had soil of low fertility, even by Ghanese standards. The nearest body of water was 7 miles away by muddy roads. Jonestown's location stood not far from Ghanaian's disputed border with Venezuela, and Ghanaian officials hoped the presence of American citizens would deter a military incursion. So, buildings started to go up. Okay, so the demographics of Jonestown's population were African Americans making up approximately 70% of the population. 45% of Jonestown's residents were actually African American women, which power to you. Maybe not at that, but power to you, women. This is the 1970 Jonestown demographic breakdown. African American Female was 460, male was 231. A total of 691. White females, Caucasian females, 138, and for the male it was 30 less than that, so 108, making a total of 246. Mixed races, 27 for female and 12 for male, making 39. And miscellaneous like other, 13 for female and 10 for male, a total of 23. The total number of females were 638, and the males were half that at 361, making a total of 999 people. So Ryan from before visited Jonestown to like see, hey, what y'all doing up here? These are like little pimple patches. So yeah, no, my skin went through a lot today. So let's continue there. Before leaving Jonestown for the airstrip, Ryan had told Gary that he would issue a report that would describe Jonestown in basically good terms. Yeah, like seeing my name with praise and all that. Ryan stated that none of the 60 relatives he had targeted for interviews wanted to leave, and the 14 defectors constituted a very small portion of Jonestown. Jonestown's residents. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna just like put this one on my nose. Yeah, this one's really gonna go on my nose. that any sense of imprisonment the defectors had was likely because of peer pressure and lack of physical transportation. And even if 200 of the 900 plus wanted to leave, I'd still say you have a beautiful place here. Despite Gary's report, Jones told him, I have failed. Gary reiterated that Ryan would be making a positive report, but Jones maintained that all is lost. They have the death tape. Anywho, let's do this. After Ryan's departure from Jonestown, towards Port Katuna, Marceline Jones made a broadcast on the PA system stating that everything was all right and asking residents to return to their homes. During this time, aides prepared a large metal tub with grape flavorade, poisoned with diphenhydramine, promethazine, chlorpromazine, chloroquine, chlorhydrate, Valium, and cyanide. The concoction was prepared with the help of Jonestown in-house doctor, Dr. Larry Scatch, a Texas native and former addict to methamphetamine who got sober with the help of Jones, who subsequently paid for his college education to become a doctor. Chat had been researching the best ways for a person to die in advance of the foreseen mass suicide. About 30 minutes after Marceline Jones's announcement, Jim Jones made his own, calling all members immediately to the pavilion. A 44-minute cassette tape, known as the Death Tape, records part of the meeting Jones called inside the pavilion in the early evening of November 18th, 1978. When the assembly gathered, referring to the Ryan delegations, air traveled back to Jonestown. To Georgetown, Jones then told the gathering, one of those people on that plane is going to shoot the pilot. I know that. I didn't plan it, but I know it's going to happen. They're going to shoot that pilot, and down comes the plane into the jungle, and we had better not have any of our children left when it's over, because they're parachute in here onto us. So that's like that.
How very much I've loved you. How very much I've tried my best to give you a good life. But in spite of all of that I've tried, a handful of our people, with their lives, have made our life impossible. There's no way to detach ourselves from what's happened today. Not only we're in a compound situation, not only are there those who have left and committed the betrayal of the century, some have stolen children from others and they're right now to kill them because they stole their children. And we are sitting here waiting on a powder keg. I don't think this is what we want to do with our babies. I don't think that's what we had in mind to do with our babies. It was death by the greatest of prophets from time immemorial. No man takes my life from me. I lay my life down.
This is all on Wikipedia. Unfortunately, I cannot play anymore, or else it'll be like, no, wrong. So, parroting Jones's prior statements that hostile forces would convert captured children to fascism, one temple member stated, "The ones that they capture, they're going to just let them grow up and be dummies." Which, on the tape, Jones urged temple members to commit revolutionary suicide. Such an act had been planned by the temple before, and according to Jonestown defectors, its theory was you can go down in history saying you chose your own way to go. And it is your commitment to refuse capitalism and in support of socialism. Yeah, kill yourself for something that always fails for people. According to an escaped temple member, Odell Rhodes, the first to take the poison were Ruetta Hall and her 1-year-old infant. A syringe without a needle fitted was used to squirt poison into the infant's mouth. After whiff, Paul squirted another syringe into her own mouth. Stanley Clayton also witnessed mothers and their babies first approach the tub containing the poison. Clayton said that Jones approached people to encourage them to drink the poison, and that after adults saw the poison begin to take effect, they showed a reluctance to die. Well, that's what the body does. Like anything that you put into your body that your body's like doesn't want in it or doesn't like fully know, they're just like, no. No. Why'd you put this in here? And it's the fact that they did this to babies, 1-year-old babies, and younger. So here we go. The poison caused death within 5 minutes for children, less for babies, and an estimated 20 to 30 minutes for adults. After consuming the poison, according to Rhodes, people were then escorted away down a wooden walkway leading outside the pavilion. It is not clear if some initially thought the exercise was another White Night rehearsal. Rhodes reported being in close contact with dying children. In response to reactions of seeing the poison take effect on others, Jones counseled, "Die with a degree of dignity. Lay down your life with dignity. Don't lay down with tears and agony." Found near Marceline Jones's body was a typewritten note dated November 18, 1978, signed by Marceline and witnessed by Moore and Maria Casares, stating, "I, Marceline Jones, leave all bank assets in my name to the Communist Party of the USSR. The above bank accounts are located in the Bank of Nova Scotia in Nassau, Bahamas. Please be sure that these assets do get to the SSR I especially request that none of these are allowed to get in the hands of my adopted daughter, Suzanne Jones Cartmill. For anyone who finds this letter, please honor this request as it is most important to myself and my husband, James W. Jones. Oh, what just flew into my throat? Someone who finds it will believe that I am crazy or believe that I am the barbed wire that does not exist in Jonestown. This is from Moore. The last line, we died because you would not let us live in peace, is written in different colored ink. No other specific reference is made to the events of the day. Moore also wrote, Jonestown, the most peaceful, loving community that ever existed. In addition, she stated Jim Jones, the one who made this paradise possible, much to the contrary of the lies stated about Jim Jones being a power-hungry, sadistic, mean person who thought he was God of all things, and his hatred of racism, sexism, elitism, and mainly classism is what prompted him to make a new world for the people, a paradise in the jungle. The children loved it, so did everyone else. There is a memorial there of pictures of those that did die in Jonestown. It was laid out at a 2011 memorial service. The gravesite is at Evergreen Cemetery in Oakland, California, and they do have like memorial plaques with everyone's name on it. And I see that they also have like the age of them. Could be wrong about that. People were calling it a mass mind control experiment conducted by the CIA. I don't believe that because there's a lot going. So yeah, there's a bunch of things about it. So that I'm going to finish off with this. This was like pretty short because I was like rushing to get this done. And I also have to pick out 4 things. I'm going to pick out the first one on camera. And then the other 3 I will do off camera. So your hat of decision. Slap you on the green one. You're just gonna hang out there for a little bit. Okay. So, Jonestown Paradise Lost was a 2007 documentary broadcast on the History Channel. In 2006, Jonestown, The Life and Death of People's Temple, a documentary film. Ganya, Cult of the Damned, a 1979 exploitation film based on the Jonestown tragedy. Ganya Tragedy, the story of Jim Jones. a 1980 television movie based on the life of Jim Jones and the People's Temple. Seconds from the Disaster, a documentary television series that covered the events at Jonestown in Season 6, Episode 2, labeled Jonestown's Cult Suicide. The Sacrament, a 2013 film which was a thriller whose plot burrows heavily with the events of Jonestown. There was also a list of United States Congress members killed or wounded in office, the Jonestown Conspiracy Theory, Case File True Crime Podcast, Case 60, three-part series aired in September of 2017. The Last Podcast on the Left, episode 300 to 304. A five-part series aired in January of the next year, episode 2018. 605 adults, 304 children. A 2019 short documentary filmed entirely by the People's Temple at Jonestown. Then there's more mass suicide things, which was Heaven's Gate, Order of the Solar Temple, Movement of the Restoration of the Ten Commandments of God, and Pupatin, and then the suicide in Ganya. So that is it. I am so glad that people did get out, because people did get out of there and they did survive all this. And they have families. And I didn't make any jokes because this is a heavy thing for people. Especially the survivors, because they're just it's PTSD inducing, and PTSD isn't fun. I'm sure it was hunky dory in the beginning, but near the end is where people's true colors come out. If you wanted to listen to the full recording of the death tape, it's on Wikipedia. Just search for Jonestown. That's what I did, and it's in the middle of the page. So, Jigger had a decision. Catherine Knight. In my cup. Okay, that's this week done. That's this month done. I am Miss Monday. I am signing off. I need to clean this up, and I also need to put that in my little stash. But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for sticking with me and all that. Make good choices. Don't idolize serial killers. Don't be queen of mean, because she has low morals and low standards in who she has around her. So yeah. Bye.